Yes. Sorry, missed. Take off whatever DIR-3 KYC we had written. No, take that off. I'm going to give you a new note on it. Okay. There are a lot of changes in this chapter. I'll tell you. Whenever that comes, I'll tell you then and there only. Okay, now, Director KYC people, make a note of it. Director KYC, what is this, sir? Also called as DIR-3 KYC Web. DIR-3 KYC Web. According to me, from exam point of view, you can definitely expect a question here. Very important, no and go. Especially for December 2026. This is going to be a question, maybe 3 to 5 marks. They may ask. Chances are 90%. So, what is the amendment? First of all, I'll tell you what was before. Before was people, we had something called as DIR-3 KYC. Yeah? And there was something called as DIR-3 KYC Web. There were two forms. The first amendment is people, these two forms are now subsumed and they have made it as one form. That one form today is called as DIR-3 KYC Web. Today we do not have just a DIR-3 KYC, that is not there. Only one form today we have, that is only called DIR-3 KYC Web. And by when we used to file these DIR-3 KYC, we used to file it by people 30th September. That was before. Now, what is the amendment? We have to file it by 30th June. One more amendment. What is that? We used to file DIR-3 KYC every year. Now, a new amendment says people, you need to file DIR-3 KYC once in 3 years. This is the major amendment. And along with that, they have also given some example. That is, how do we have to calculate this DIR-3 KYC? I mean, how do we have to file this DIR-3 KYC? They have given some example. So, from exam point of view, they may ask you this question. No and go. Clear? It is effective from this year. 31st March 2026 is when it was implemented. So, it is applicable for our December attempt. It will form part of your supplement. So, it is applicable for December 2026 and onwards. For December 2026, it will be important. From June 27 onwards, this amendment will be okay. Clear? Yes. So with that background, write down. What is DIR-3 KYC? Directors holding DIN as on 31st March of a financial year shall now be required to file the DIR-3 KYC web once every third consecutive financial year. on or before 30th June. On or before 30th June. When else we will file this, sir? We will also file this. Any change in directors, any change in directors mobile number, directors email id and directors, this is also an amendment. Residential address. Before, what we used to file, we used to file DIR-6. If any change in the address and all, we used to file DIR-6. Now we are again saying, anyways we are filing this, let us all file it in the same form. Online audible, Ada? Online audible? Okay. Residential address, in case of change of all of this, it must be updated. It must be updated within 30 days. Within 30 days through DIR-3 KYC web. It must be updated through DIR-3 KYC web. So today, only form that exists is DIR-3 KYC web. So I'm not giving you the past data. So earlier what used to happen is we had two forms, DIR-3 KYC, DIR-3 KYC web. Today we have only one. That is also one of the amendment. Yeah. You want to write? DIR-3 KYC and DIR-3 KYC, DIR-3 KYC and DIR-3 KYC web has been substituted with form DIR-3 KYC web. It has been substituted with form DIR-3 KYC web. And remember, any forms pending any forms pending for DSC upload, and payment, or it is in the draft or pending status, would be marked as cancelled and are requested to file DIR-3 KYC web with effect from 31st March 26, with effect from 31st March 26. Yes, so questions can also come in this way only. They have given 3 illustrations. I am giving all 3 illustrations also here. So this is our institute only has given us 3 illustrations. I mean, take it as examples. Example number 1. If DIN is allotted during the financial year 25-26, then so DIR-3 KYC should be filed once in 3 consecutive years. So when should we file? The first filing shall be due from April 2029 to June 2029. Like this, the list continues, and thereafter every third consecutive financial year. Every consecutive financial year. Second case, where a DIR-3 KYC DIR-3 KYC or DIR-3 KYC web has been already filed. In such case, no filing is required. No filing is required for the financial year 26-27 and 27-28. Accordingly, the first filing will be due from April 2028 to June 2028. And the third illustration, if DIN was allotted on 1st Jan 26 and director again updates his details, it can be his number or ID or address, anything he updates in the financial year 27-28 by filing the DIR-3 KYC, the DIR-3 KYC web, the DIR-3 KYC web. In such case, the 3 years cycle shall be reckoned from 25-26 and not 27-28. Hence, the next due date will be from April 29 to June 29. Once copied, let me know. Done. Yes, people, done. So, people, this is the amendment. Now, what is that they're telling you? Let us imagine if there is any director. If there is any director who has already got his DIN, and if he wants to continue to hold his DIN, what is the law saying? You need to mandatorily file something called as DIR-3 KYC. Now, I told you before we had something called as DIR-3 KYC and DIR-3 KYC web. Today, what has happened? Everything has been subsumed into one form. That one form is called DIR-3 KYC web. Next one, the due date is 30th June every year. 30th June of that particular year. And we used to file before, we used to file it every year. That this particular director's KYC, we used to file it every year. Now what they have done, they have made it once in every 3 years. So every 3 consecutive years, you will be filing DIR-3 KYC web. And when else you will file? So I have to file only once in 3 years, sir. Let us imagine. I file it this year. I'll again have to file it after 3 years. But let us imagine in between, if any of my details change, then what to do? Can I not file it in between? Let us imagine if my ID changes, if my number changes, I'll not be able to update. You will still be able to update. In between also, you can file DIR-3 KYC web on a need to file basis. In between, if your ID or address or if your number is changing, even then you can file DIR-3 KYC web. If nothing is changed, keep continuing to file 3 years once. Sir, if there is any change in between, then also you can file DIR-3 KYC web. So one is 3 years once. If nothing is changed, if something is changed, you can file in between. Are you getting the point? And earlier what we used to do, if there is a change of email ID and mobile number, we used to file it in DIR-3 KYC or DIR-3 KYC web. If there is address change, we used to file it in DIR-6. Today, address change, address change, ID change, mobile number change will all be updated in the same form, that is DIR-3 KYC web. Is this clear? Yes, that is what they have given you an illustration. See, directors holding this DIN as on 31st March, they have to mandatorily file something called as DIR-3 KYC web. When should we file it? It has to be filed every third consecutive financial year. Now, what do I mean by every third consecutive financial year? See, we have an illustration. What is that? Let us imagine if DIN is allotted on 25-26. That is when we got our DIN. Now, what do I mean by third financial year? 26-27, 27-28, 28-29. So, 31st March 2029. I have DIN. So, when will be the due date? The due date will be 30th June 2029. Again, I am repeating. How do I calculate this, sir? I got my DIN on 25-26. This is the year I got my DIN. Count the year from 26-27. This is my first year. 27-28. This is my second year. 28-29. This is my third year. And due date will be whenever the financial year end close. That is what they have given, right? 31st March. That is my financial year. It is closing. And the due date will be June. That means, sir, whenever the financial year ends, that is my third year. From here, sir, my due date will be June 2029. You will be, they are everywhere they are writing it as April 29 to June 29. You can ignore it because they have said you can file it anywhere before June 29. If you want, you can file it in April, May, it is your choice. So they are saying the due date will be anywhere between April to June. Rather, you can also say the last date is June. Until then, you can file anytime you want. Are you understanding now? So every third consecutive financial year, this is how I need to count it. Any doubts here? Hello, clear? And the last one says what? Sir, let us imagine I got my DIN on 25-26, but in 27-28, I wanted to change something. My mobile number changed or my address changed. So let us imagine I made some changes in this year. Now, the third consecutive financial year will start from when? Should I again take it this as my first year? Because it is cycle of 3 years. No. When will it start from? They are telling you, just because you have made a change, that does not break the chain of 3 years. The 3 consecutive years, the base will start from this year only. This will not have any impact. So still the next due date will be on June 2029 itself. So in between also, if you have filed any changes, it is still okay. The 3 consecutive year thing will not change. It will continue every third consecutive financial year. That will keep continuing. And what will be the date from which we will count? We'll always count it from the day you took the DSC. From that day only, it will be multiplies of 3. In between, if you file, it does not change the third year rule. So in between, how many ever times you want, you file. It's okay. But the third consecutive financial year, that due date, that will not change. Understanding? That means, so here my third year will be from this date. Just because I made changes here, my third year rule will not start from here. This is irrelevant. Leave it. It should always start from the day you took your DSC, and again 3 years, that rule will continue. Irrespective of the fact how many ever times you file in between. That is irrelevant. Clear? Yes. This is the complete amendment. What is this one? Where DIR-3 KYC, Charan was telling, sir, we recently uploaded. You filed it. Now, there are some people, Now, for example, two of our directors, what they had done is, they had not yet filed. They had prepared everything, but they have not filed it yet. Now, what happens? Now, this will become people pending status. Someone who has not filed yet. Now, what will happen to them? We have prepared it, we have not yet filed. Whoever is in the stage of pending, we have not yet filed, automatically they are telling you all those applications by default will stand cancelled. You have to file a new application, that is, you need to file your DIR-3 KYC web effective this year only. That is what he was telling. For those people who have filed it, I can't do anything, it is done. For those people who are still yet to file in the pending status, they are telling you all of you will have to file DIR-3 KYC immediately effective. Hello? Understanding? Yes? Where a DIR-3 KYC? Allah, where is that? Any forms pending for DSC upload and payment, or any form which is in the status of draft or pending, such forms, the status would be marked as cancelled. So you are still preparing. Automatically those forms will be marked as cancelled, and you were required to file the fresh DIR-3 KYC only with effect from 31st March 2026. Whoever has filed, what about them? That means, sir, on 1st April 2026, immediately we filed off the old form itself. What about us? For them, they are telling you, where a DIR-3 KYC or DIR-3 KYC web has already been filed, no filing is required for the next 2 years, that is financial year 26-27, 27-28. Your next filing will come in the year April 2028 to June 2028. That will be your year, and that is when your first filing will come into picture. So for those people who have filed the previous forms, you will start filing it from the year 2028. Yes? That means you're filing it for the year 25-26. Now take for example, for the year 25-26, you have filed it in this year. When will be your next year? They're telling you for 26-27, 27-28. My next year will be in the June 2028. That will be my first due date to file the new form, DIR-3 KYC web. That means what? Here I have filed the old form. When will I have to file the new form? They are telling you the new form will be applicable 26-27. Don't file. For 27-28, the due date will become what? June. This will be my due date. This is where I'll have to file my first form. For those people, whoever has already filed it for this year, if you have filed it under the previous one, they're telling you don't file it this year again, don't file it next year also, but the year next to that, you will have to start complying with DIR-3 KYC web. Understood? Huh? So whoever has filed it this year, for them again you don't have to file. Next year should I file? Correct. So for 31st of March, whoever is holding DIN, now for this and all to come into picture, it will take time because the effective date was 31st March 2026. What if people have already filed under the old process? If you have already filed it for this year only, if you have already filed the old form, they're telling you again don't file the new form. Should I file again next year? Not required. But file it effective from 2028. Once you file it in 2028, again you also maintain the 3 consecutive financial years rule. So for people who are filing from that day, for your 3 years will start from that day. You don't have to do it again this year or next year. Clear? Huh? So these are all the illustrations they have given. So I've given all that illustrations also here only. Clear? This is the amendment. Clear? All of you? Any doubts? This is the amendment of DIR-3 KYC. We have to file this with fees only. Yes. So as of now, I didn't see what is the late filing fees yet. Applying the previous provision, the late filing fees was 5,000 rupees. Now we are yet to see what will be the late filing fees for this. If we take the same provision as such, it will be 5,000 rupees itself. I mean the late filing fees. Under the previous provision, that was the same. It was mentioned as 5,000 rupees. Yeah. Okay, so this is the amendment, people. According to me, a very strong amendment from exam point of view. Read and go, very important. Done, all of you? Okay. So this is your directors, DIR-3 KYC, and all of that. So because of this, people, see, all of this becomes irrelevant. You can strike it off. There's 14.2. Even the last year also there was one amendment. All of this will become irrelevant. Yes, all of that becomes irrelevant. Done? Any doubts? Hello, all of you.